Alright, so I'm bringing you guys a different video that's different from my usual type. This one's going to be fully unscripted, and it's just going to be me telling you guys my thoughts and opinions on Sui Ishida's new manga, Choujin X. So I'm going to be honest with you guys, I've been really hyped for this one. I've been lurking around in the Tokyo Ghoul Discord server, and it's been looking at the discussion, seeing updates and everything for Choujin X. And I've been watching Ishida's live streams, and I'm a big fan of his works, and I love his art and everything, so this one just really made me hyped for it. So when I heard that he was doing a new manga, you could bet I was head over heels for it. Anyway, so this one is just going to be my thoughts and opinions on the manga itself, and it's not going to be no overview for it, so it's going to be completely spoilery. So you're going to have a lot of spoilers in this one, so there's no overview, there's nothing, it's just going to be basically a little review, but more of my thoughts on this. Okay, so going into the first chapter, it left a lot to be, wanting more of, because I started off in the first chapter and I was like, okay, so I didn't really know what we were going to get from here because there was really no summary that was released at the time. So that's one of the main reasons why I'm not doing an overview, because it's going to take time for me to create one and I don't have a good grasp on exactly what Choujin X is. So far, what I noticed is that it's probably going to be something like Tokyo Ghoul actually, because they have these creatures called Choujin. I don't know if they're monsters. I don't know exactly what they are because there's no backstory to them, but it seems as if they're having some superhuman powers, so gives me kind of Tokyo Ghoul vibes. And so starting off with it, I didn't really know who the MC was going to be, and then I saw a little girl on there and how she protected that old lady, and I was like, oh wow, so this is our main character. I mean, it's different from Sui Ishida style, and I mean, hey, it's okay, I guess. And the next thing you know, this guy just comes out of the middle of nowhere and just burns her, and I'm like, oh shit. So this one made me really like, okay, so we're gonna get something a little bit more split than the usual stuff, and I'm really hyped for that. So I thought that our MC was like a normal guy that's gonna, turn into a monster, and that's what I thought was the main thing. I thought it was gonna be more of a like, there's these monsters called Choujins that's in the world, and they're just going around and they're hurting people. But then there's also the good Choujin that actually go out there and stop him. That's what I thought whenever he was walking down the road and he called his friend. And at first I was like, okay, so there's probably something superhuman gonna go on. But then he, his friend kicked and, broke that guy's arm. And so I'm still like kind of like in between on whether it was like something superhuman level or if it was just, just normal martial arts. I still don't know that. I'm stupid. It was literally right there. Enlighten me in the comments. And so I, just keep going on and on throughout the whole entire thing, and I notice the more and more I read about it, the more that I'm like getting interested into what's actually going on in the world. I know that there's Choujin in there from like, the very first couple pages. And then, we have these two best friends that seem to be going out here, stopping crime and investigating stuff. And they obviously seem to know a lot about Choujin because they bring them up. So that leads me on to my next thing, that maybe they're involved with something, or maybe they found something and they know about Choujin and that's how they're going about, finding them. Or maybe just maybe, it's like a world where Choujin are like popularized, like everybody knows about Choujin and everybody knows about how dangerous they are. So that's why they all know about it. And they're just out there trying to play hero. And it wasn't until the guy who got his arms broke came back with them fully healed and, started beating up the MC's friend that was like, oh shit. So we're getting like a dark little turn thing. And I wasn't exactly sure how it was gonna, end off on a chapter. And that's when that guy turned into some elongated Choujin. And so now that makes me think that Choujin have a special ability. And there's like elongated one. There's one with fire stuff, water, I don't know, avatar maybe. And so, yeah, it was really a crazy chapter. And when they found a needle part, I'm like, okay, so maybe Choujin can be brought upon by medical drugs. And maybe that's how they're created. I don't know if they're natural, don't know if they're lab created, I don't know any of that. That's why I'm way more invested in this. I have a lot of questions after that first chapter, so it's really making me hype for, reading more about it. Okay, so editing me here, so let me elaborate on what I meant by I have no idea if they're lab created or, medical induced. Because there could be artificial and there could be the real one, and the artificial ones could be created by the syringe, and there are real ones out there. That's what I meant. And so yeah, it ended off on them just both putting the needle in each other's arm, and he turned into a Choujin. I forgot the name of it. I would have to put the page up on there, but it's up on the screen right now. And just looking at that, I'm like, dang, I really miss this man's work. This man's art is just amazing. And so, yeah, I kind of ended off on that. And so, yeah, I can tell we're definitely going to get something. I hate to keep on comparing it to Tokyo Ghoul, but it's kind of the exact same vibes as Tokyo Ghoul gave off. So it's really making me hype for it. So my thoughts on it is that it was a very solid first chapter, and the art in it is amazing. You know, Sui Ishida is back giving us some good stuff. And I heard that he's going to be doing this one at his own pace, so he's working on it at his own pace. So obviously there's not going to be a lot of updates. So maybe it's going to be monthly, semi-monthly, we don't know. He might drop a couple of chapters in like in bulk, or he might just drop one every 2 months. We don't know that. He's going to be working at his own pace, so don't expect a new chapter very soon. But just the fact that the first one is 80 pages makes me really hyped, because I'm guessing that if he's doing this at his own pace and he's giving off this kind of, material, we're probably going to get around 60 to 80 pages per chapter, and that's going to be something to look forward to. And so, yeah, with Choujin X, I can definitely see it leaning more towards a seinen dark type of manga, and I can see a lot of people actually enjoying this one, and I don't know if it's going to be as mainstream as Tokyo Ghoul was, but I can definitely see it picking up some numbers, and a lot of new fans are coming on, and a lot of old fans are coming back to Sui Ishida, and they're checking out his work. And yeah, I'm going to be really excited to see the future of this one, because I believe that this one has potential to be a pretty big manga. Like in most of my videos, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but whenever I'm watching a anime or I'm reading a manga, I normally can get a sense of what's going to be the next big thing, because it has a certain element that gives it just that feel that makes you go, yeah, this is going to be something that's going to blow up and people are going to be head over heels over this. And Choujin X is really giving me that vibe, but the fact that it's going to be, that Sui Ishida is going to be working at his own pace, I don't know if it will garner enough to hold somebody's attention. So he's really going to have to pull out all the stops on almost every chapter. Not almost every chapter, but in a good amount of them. And, to get people to be like, oh yeah, we're going to be hyped and we're going to wait for Choujin X every single month or whenever. So yeah, I really hope that it does reach that point. And I just want to really see this one, take off. And for Sui Ishida to get back on his grind, and for all of us fans to just, come back again. And now off to something else. If it ever does get an anime, I hope that it gets a proper adaptation, because you saw what happened to Tokyo Ghoul, and that's just really depressing. And you know what? Never mind. Tokyo Ghoul never had an anime. Tokyo Ghoul never got an anime. So let's just hope that Choujin X can get one. And a good one. A very good one. Anyway, that's going to be all for this video. I just really want to get my thoughts about it. I read it about 2 hours ago, so I've kind of been recalling the events in my head. I was like, oh, shoot, I forgot to record. So my memory isn't fresh on it. But yeah, it is my thoughts and opinions on the first chapter. I think that it excels in, stunningly good art. And the plot is making you question a lot of stuff, so it's going to give you something to look forward to. And as more of the story unfolds, I believe that it's going to get way more interesting. But yeah, I think it's a really good time to end this one off. So yeah, I hope that you guys have a good day, stay safe out there, and you accomplish whatever you set out to do. And that'll be all for this one. Peace.